Welcome back, everybody. I have a special guest here, and we typically don't do this around where I'm from with the channel, but we have a guest that came in, been working with them for roughly over a year, Jason Newman, RHSCreenPlusRoofing out of Port St. Lucie, Florida. Over the last year that I've known Jason as a construction general contractor, does a lot of different things for houses. His business has exploded. His life himself has dramatically pushed forward from where it was, spiritually, physically, financially. Everything is basically a blitzkrieg attack on everything that he was doing before. So I'm going to give Jason the floor, have him introduce himself on where he was in his life and his business and what he does, and kind of where he ended up in his journey. Because if you're a contractor making $10,000 to $20,000 and you've kind of been stuck and there's some components that you think are missing in your business and you have aspirations to go to 50K, 100K and beyond months in top line revenue, you're gonna wanna hear Jason's story because Jason actually did that. So without me just rambling forever about how amazing Jason is, I'm gonna let him tell his own story and take the floor. Jason, please introduce yourself and let them know what you do, how long you've been doing it, and kind of where your world was. Hit it.
All right. Howdy, everybody. Jason Michael Newman here, coming to you from St. Lucie County, Port St. Lucie, Florida. I am a fiance, a husband, and, and that's it. I'm a Christian. And yes, guys, so RH Screen plus Roofing. I've been in the industry since 8th grade summer. I just turned 42 June 3rd, and here we are. So yeah, I've been in the industry since 8th grade summer. Swinging a hammer, sweeping up. You know, I like to say no one gave me nothing but a hard time. And yeah, just a lot of hot summers doing construction. And you guys can follow us on all major platforms, RH Screen Plus Roofing, PLUS.
Hell yeah. So you're an incumbent in the construction industry, basically your entire adult life for the most part.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And so that's roughly 25 years of experience.
Yeah, literally since about 8th grade summer, yeah, I started doing it in the summertime. And then I literally dropped out of high school in like 11th grade and opened up a clean cut lawn service. So I was building screen rooms during the day from 7 to 4. We got off, and then I would go and cut yards in the summertime. And that's just, I've just always had that entrepreneur spirit, you know?
There you go. And interestingly enough, you had that much experience a year ago, basically a year ago, and some change. Your business was at a certain level. Kind of what was going on with your business? Where was it at financially?
Right.
And what was going on in your life? Kind of.
Okay.
What was the thing that was frustrating you where you were at?
There was a lot going on. So, we're at a podcast, so we're going to talk about it. Hurricane Michael hit in like 23, 24, something like that. So when I met you last year, where I was is I was on the tail end of storm damage work that dried up. Okay, so I had some money. I was sitting back, not fat and happy. I just, my money was going down because I didn't have a lot of work. And I had some guys that had been with me for years, and I try to take care of them. So I'm having them doing odds and ends stuff, washing my car, spreading fairy dust, passing out cards. So we weren't super busy. And then we would, we were going to talk in 30-day spans. So by the end of the month, we would all meet our quota. The business would make some money, I would make some money, and I would get my money back from paying the guys their stuff. So I went down a personal development journey on April 11th and got with a guru and met you through certain individuals in Miami.
Sure.
Okay. And you and I, just formed a connection, and it's just organic. And you helped me. So I made the decision to not only be your friend, but
Thanks a lot, Jason. Appreciate it. Let me not put a gun to your head for that, right? Please be my friend, Jason.
I love this guy.
We just clicked, so
we
it
just
worked.
clicked, and then we started doing business together because hey, I'm friends with people, but I don't necessarily want to do business with them. So
Sure.
I dove into the ads, and we started doing the meta for brand recognition. So my business was doing about $10,000 to $15,000 months. I never could understand how to scale a business without a natural disaster, because I was just a guy that swung a hammer and decided to go into business for myself one day because I got tired of working for people. So fast forward to what we were talking about. So now it's I hire you for the ads, and it's just snowballed. And I went on a personal development journey in April. About a month later, we hired you for the ads. That's in 2025. And now we're here doing, you can tell them the number, Clinton. I don't need to tell them.
I want you to understand
We're
something.
moving too fast. Does that make sense?
No, that's perfect.
Is that perfect?
It's your story, man.
Yeah.
So this is it. We're just going to pull it out so that they can understand a little bit. People don't understand numbers, and I want you to understand is that this is for real. Jason here, and
we
all
have the receipts, guys.
Jason,
we'll post them.
When he says personal development, he was unhappy with his health and his body weight.
Correct.
So personal development for him, and he had experience being fit for a long time in his life. He just fell off and he got to a position where he wasn't happy. He did this on his own. I had nothing to do with him losing 100 pounds. He lost an entire 100 pounds of body weight almost. The dude is now fit. What are you weighing in now? 88 pounds, 188, 195?
I'm right there, 195.
Yeah. And so he also started jiu-jitsu rolling and fighting. He also, so he picked up jiu-jitsu. He dialed in his nutrition for a year, didn't miss any fucking meals, dropped a whole 100 pounds, did that on his own, peptides, all that shit. Here it is. A year later, he's 100 pounds lighter. Go back in and I'll show a picture on the screen of the old podcast him and the new podcast him. Entirely different person. Business was stuck at a 10 to 15K because he's on the tools and he's a surge contractor. His skill is, there's a disaster, he can go in there and completely change the nature of your house same day. There's just disaster everywhere from hurricanes. So that's his bread and butter, and that's how he's built his business over the years. Where it struggled was, how do we do it in the off season? So he lacked systems. He was on the tools. He didn't have the skill or the education in marketing on the various standards of platforms: Google, Meta, CRMs, hiring and firing, sales processes, just the most basic level. None of the things we do in his business is overly complex. We just get good at the simplest level, just like Einstein reduced the theory of relativity, E equals mc squared. Well, I'm a simpleton. I really am, and I don't try to complicate. I try to reduce. So we just need to do these 5 things and do them really well, better than everybody else, and your business will just scoop up all the business it was missing. We don't have to outspend our competitors. We really don't. We just master the basics, which is lead flow in. So that's the first step of our process for the journey that he's on. Now in the last 30 to 40 days, you tell him, what was your top line revenue in the last, we'll say 5 weeks, just ballpark, just swag
over 200,000. Let's say a whole number, 210. Okay, and then you could do the plus minus next to it. And it's Monday. I haven't even talked to my guys today. God knows what Dan sold today. So
that's also not where the story stops. So this is where it just compoundly gets more interesting. Is financially, the landscape of his business is entirely different. Personally, the landscape of his personal appearance and his day-to-day behavior is different. So that's no drinking, no drugs, no 100%. Chasing girls. He's 100%. Got a family, he's a fiance, and he's dialed in with his nutrition and fitness. And then his business is paralleling that same level of discipline. That's it. So he's now has salespeople. He has dedicated salesperson. His fleet is expanded from 1 vehicle to, what are you up to now?
We've got 4 going on 5.
4 to 5 fleet vehicles in his business. Yep. And, over the last couple of days, I've been down here. Essentially, it's a vacation, but it's really just to sit with him and work through the process of what's next. Yeah. Just kind of I ideate on where the next things for his business could be. Options.
Eye to eye, person to person, energy to energy. We sit in there and we're talking and going out to eat and spending a lot of time together, which is necessary for where we want to take the business. So it's really good to
double. We want to double and double again. So you're only so many doubles away from $1 million a month. So we brought in some other associates, friends of mine, clients that are kind of in similar complementary business models.
Genres.
Yeah, yeah. They have different skills, different skill sets. They're all interested in development and flipping homes and right up each other's alley. So they'd be they're all cool friends. They
Yeah,
like tattoos and shiny shit. And
Yeah, we had a good time this weekend, man.
had a really
It was
good
a lot
time.
of work. It's fun, but it's work too. You know, we're out there. It's a lot of talking to people, and you know, you got to kind of be social. And sometimes I just want to sit back, and you're like Miami, and you want to just hang out, but you gotta keep.
We did some hanging out.
You did some hanging out.
We spent a little too much time at a place called Moxie's. It's one of
Yeah.
my favorite spots. It's a good Brickell spot to
Yep.
people watch, and
Absolutely.
there's a lot of activity from entrepreneurs and people in the marketing space, and you see them, you see their stuff. I ran into a few people, so that's a good spot. So collaborations and those things, and for him, I think that's huge. He also has. Tell him about the other thing you got going on with the house.
Sure. So, yeah,
There's
we
so
have
much.
RHSCreenPlusRoofing, right? And originally, if you could see the pendant, it's RH Screen LLC, and then I've been doing that my whole life. Well, not everyone needs a screen; everyone needs a roof. So we got the roofing division. I had to figure out branding. That took a while. So if you look at our shirts, it says "Brought to you by RH Screen LLC." Then it says RH Screen Plus Roofing. So it goes really well. And so now we're doing the roofing. That's the construction side. I've been in construction my whole life. So we decided to go into some land development slash, flipping homes.
Yep.
So in my mind, it's peanut butter and jelly because my guys have the experience of like tile and interior and these things. So we have the equipment, the dump trailers. So we purchased our first home and this was this year. We opened up KWIDG, Kingdom Wellness Investment Development Group. Okay, and that's our land development. And we got our first property a couple months ago in 2026 in Davenport, Iowa. And we revamped that whole thing. And now we're using it as an Airbnb. So we have that on our portfolio. That's a long-term investment. Then we're going to do this flip in Port St. Lucie. And then we also own a piece of land, 1.25 acres in Okeechobee, that we're going to do a land development deal on that and get it all done, brand new home, put a for sale sign on it and sell it as a land development deal. So there's that. And then we also have KW, which is KWC, Kingdom Wellness Community, which is a 501c3 nonprofit in Davenport, Iowa, that we're giving back to veterans and mothers with, single mothers and people, the less fortunate, blue collar people if you're in the industry. And we're just trying to get people together to come into our gym. So we do boxing, jiu-jitsu, and we have CrossFit. It's an 8,000 square foot facility with lots of parking, and it's free. People can come there for free. We're donor based, so people donate so people can come to the gym for free. And it's a really good thing. So there's so many things going on right now for us, and we're just diving into everything. And the meetings with the guys is we're trying to really push. We're trying to schedule our stuff for 2027. So we really got a grip on what we want to do there. In 2027, I really want to go into the more. Right now, we're doing, $200,000 months. We're doing $500,000, $400,000 house flips. We've got some commercial projects that we didn't mention that are about 300 to. We're in bid. We've gotten awarded the job, but they're doing some change orders, so it's going to grow. Between 380, it's right around 380,000 now. It's probably could go up to 480 to maybe 580,000. So we have some things. 2027, our goal is to just be doing $1 million deals, not $500,000 deals. So
It starts here.
That's where it starts, and it started with $10,000 months, and before that, we were happy with $400 jobs. And when I was owner operator, when I started 2018, I just said, hey, if I could get 10 of those, that's better than $2,500 a week paycheck working for someone else. So let me
Sure.
go do my own thing. So that's what it snowballed into, guys.
Yeah, you really did that. And
I really did it from nothing.
not to undersell the astronomical volume of change in where he was 12 months ago to where he is today. I can't understate
Yeah.
the crazy amount of improvement. So multiple properties, the deals, not only did the business scale to numbers that are pretty starting to get pretty large on the ledger, multiple investment properties
Yep.
and flips and improvements, the construction business, there's new services, entire new industries and offers you're expanding into. It's not only going to stop at roofing, and the gym and the nonprofit. There's all kinds of things happening all at the same time.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy is the messages you get. And he has social media. So his social media started at 0. I remember when his social media started and he had like 30 followers. He still doesn't have a ton. It's still 1,100. But look, in the age of where I grew up in and was introduced to internet, I was always under the assumption followers equaled revenue.
Correct.
And that's not true. 1,000 followers, if you were to compare it to, someone you saw online running around in Lamborghinis, you would think, oh, that's it, because all their shit's all fake and the Lamborghini's rented. This is real blue collar work, and it doesn't require followers. You do need marketing presence, and social media is amazing when you nail it, but there's this disconnect that doesn't add up when you see the social medias, because old me would be like, oh, that can't be real.
Right.
I see the invoices every day. I see the leads flow in from the CRM.
Yeah.
And
you have access to all of our.
I have access to all the numbers and the analytics on the back end, from the marketing to the meta to the CRM. And his stuff is perfectly in line with standard marketing conversions. They'll get 30 to 40 leads. They'll close 30 to 40%. Yep. Jobs are starting to expand in quality as they're figuring out their upsell process in their offers. And we have I'd say an unfair advantage of how we're doing it. And one is it's the operator. But Jason's coming. And he's coming in hot, and he's not going to let you know he's there. He's going to ninja the competition.
Yes.
And it's going to start that noise by the time you hear it. The footsteps of the competitor coming for your spot it's too late. And that's how we're doing it, And he said, I want to be loud with it. Yeah. I want to go. I was like,
I wanted the followers. I wanted this. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I'll be loud for you.
Exactly.
I was like, you just do what you do.
Yep.
And trust me,
they're
going to knock on your door. They're going to knock on your door and be like, they're going to tap out and they're going to ask, like, hey, what can we do to partner?
Exactly.
What can we do? Because like most businesses, and this isn't really just the social media. There's meta marketing. There's Google marketing.
Yep.
Most businesses don't understand the importance of the marketing component oftentimes. And they also don't understand the link on where they fit in with social media. What is it? Is it followers? Is it before and after videos? Is it AI generated stuff? What is it? Because most operators will boost a post, put $100 behind it, be like, I didn't make $1 million. Yeah. Put $1,000 behind it, but like, I didn't make $1 million. What is it doing for me? They can't quantify it because they're service based. It's $500 a square foot. It's $1,000 a linear foot for a fence type or something. They're very quantifiable. If I put in, I want out. That's it. And there's no way to get there other than starting to build the ecosystem of a business. BMW, Mercedes, you pick. They have layers of marketing and they have their own purpose. They have social media, they have websites, they have massive CRMs and conversions, whole teams of salespeople. They have outreach, they have follow-up, they have emails that you opted into and you never wanted the damn email. You touch their website and now like people are calling you and sending you emails. So Jason now is starting to build in those systems, and it's starting to bear very predictable fruit for where he's going in the future. So
100%.
Don't sleep on improving your business, because people ask me every day, how does it work? will this work for me? When would I get a return? Like this can't be for real, and it's all for real. He doesn't drive around Lambos, although he probably should. He's got the personality for it. It's one of those things. So, Jason, kind of where would you go? What kind of advice would you tell a business that was stuck at 10 to 20K? And what would be the first three things that you tell them that they have to do to get out of that 10 to 20K loop? What would be the most important things that you'd tell them?
Most important thing I would tell a business owner to get out of the 10 to 20K loop. And for me, I don't want this to go over people's heads. We were talking about it last night, Clinton, but for me, it all started with personal development. I had to take a deep look at myself, and I was prepared to open my business up. And I looked at it like this, like the Hell's Kitchen. You ever seen the show, or where Gordon, that he goes in and he looks at excuse me, where you go into a restaurant and it's super dirty, and it's like, you got rotten food in there, and you're thinking your kitchen's all, like you have to expose yourself a little bit. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what am I missing? Where's my, what's my money going in and out? And you have to be humble enough to open up and ask for help, right? Because you got to know that when you open your refrigerator, there's going to be some rotten meat in there, right? Even though you think that you got it all cleaned out. If you had it that clean, you'd probably be making a lot more money, and you wouldn't need the help. You would be teaching somebody.
Sure.
So that's what I would do, is be humble enough to look at yourself and ask for the help. And that starts with personal development.
Okay. I agree with that. So the first step in understanding any problem is diagnosing the problem. You have to take a ledger, a list, and analyze where you're really at.
Right.
What processes are you currently have in play? What are the numbers in? What are the numbers out? Times to place a call when a lead comes in, where the lead source is coming from. There's so many things that you have to understand.
And be humble enough for when you do ask for the help and someone tells you what to do. Now that you've asked for the help, it's on that person. Do exactly what they said. So if it doesn't work, you can go back and point the finger at them, and then go and do it your way.
Look, you first got to know what the problem is. Like triage, you're dying, like you got to diagnose. So any first problem is diagnosed. And then you have to apply and then measure. And that's a loop, an endless loop on wherever it is you want to go. That's it. And it's database. So we don't do feeling. We don't. What we do is just like you do with the body.
We don't buy followers.
Yeah, we don't buy followers. We don't buy engagement. We buy impressions. We buy exposure.
Why wouldn't I want to buy followers, Clinton?
Oh, that's a good question. So the reason why a business, a common strategy in the world is fake it till you make it.
Why wouldn't I want to buy followers to go viral or go viral? This is kind of this like forward slash, right?
We'll break down social media. Standard businesses, a lot of businesses and people think, fake it till you make it. I'm going to buy followers, which are just robot placeholders on your Instagram or Facebook. And then I will purchase engagement, which is engagement farms overseas will like, comment, save, and share those videos. The problem, looks good on the surface, but you can't sell to it. The second problem is Instagram, Facebook, Meta, they're not stupid. They detect that, and then they shut down your organic exposure. That means you don't have a functioning page. You can't do anything with it. It just looks pretty. Versus we run our business pages, ours, our clients, mine, with the intent to track buyers. So that's expensive. It's really, really, really hard to do that organically. It's nearly impossible because the system is designed as a marketing platform. So it knows where all the people interested in the things.
To attract buyers.
That's right. So we purchase exposure, which is impressions. It isn't like comments and shares.
Paid ads.
Through paid ad systems to attract potential homeowners interested in the thing he sells. And a byproduct of that is he gets followers that are interested in his content, his life, and kind of his journey so that he can convert. Everything that we do in the system is about the desired outcome. We work backwards from sales, and we only speak to the people we're trying to attract and sell our product to. So that's homeowners. Why would he do anything other? Because we can't convert someone that's interested in maybe your 6-pack abs in your boat that doesn't own a home.
So your bot followers are obviously not going to be somebody that wants to buy a screen.
Your bot followers will never send you an organic message. They never have any type of real behavior that results in a purchase. So the signaling back into Meta corrupts your page. It is nearly impossible once that happens to work backwards and start to sell something without spending an astronomical amount of dollars on ads. And I'm talking,
you got to relearn the system.
You have to reteach it.
You got to reteach it to say, hey, I don't want this demographic of Yahoo looking at I want a homeowner. Not
That's right. Because if for every 100 people you attract that is a potential buyer, 3 or 5 is an opportunity to sell to. That has a quantifiable dollar, whether it's $1, $10, $15, $20 a person, doesn't matter. Now you have something to sell to. And now you've trained the system to go find those people. So now it starts to compound. There is an inflection point where enough of your ideal people start to message you. You start to get a lot more of those people for free. Google works that way. TikTok works that way. Instagram works that way. Virality does not make you more money under 99% of all use cases. But attracting your ideal buyer to your social media page and also your Google funnels as well
website
results in going from $10,000 months where you're dealing with an influencer is teaching you how to get attention and rage bait, and followers and views per month is something that they brag and sell you, to stuck at a 10K month, to running a business that has a predictable growth and hits 210K-ish month in a 31 day period. That's a completely different strategy, and one you can do for free and go almost nowhere and post perfectly for a year in accordance to what they say. And the other one, it's pay to play, because every platform is pay to play. I'm sorry, but college is a pay to play system. Right. You want to go watch a baseball game, it's pay to play.
We pay to play in the Instagram space for our business, a service-based industry. We do that for brand recognition.
Yep. Conversion.
Right? Conversion. So every time I'm driving around, you guys check us out. We have these crazy wrap vehicles. We were out the other night at a restaurant, and a guy came up. We're sitting next to him. He's looking at me. He's like, hey, man, you noticed my necklace? He's like, you do roofs? I'm like, yes, sir. He goes, oh, I seen you on Instagram. You know, and it's pretty neat. So that brand recognition is huge.
Huge.
It's huge. And like I said, I got 1,000 followers. A lot of people are seeing my stuff, and unfortunately, they're not liking, commenting, or sharing, or even following me. But trust me, they're looking.
100%.
100%.
Yeah. So just as a data point, he lives 2 hours away from Miami.
That's right.
He's in Miami, and we're at a restaurant, and a stranger sits down next to us, says, correct, I know you from Instagram. And that's why I call my strategy or whatever, the best known business strategy, is because I haven't been in Miami for almost a year.
Correct.
When I landed at the airport, someone recognized me, San Diego Clinton, and I didn't spend a ton of money on ads. When I go to the restaurant, stranger walks by and is like, hey, you still on Instagram? Let me get your stuff. I need marketing. Like, that's how it works. I'm at the gym. A lady that I spoke at an event who follows me on social media, I didn't even remember who she was or where she was from. I was like, do I know you? She's like, can I get a picture? Social media is about reach and exposure and staying top of mind.
For us, we use it to create trust.
Yeah, trust is huge.
It's a big thing. Yeah, on our story structure, and then just people seeing that we're an actual human being and everything we do. So yeah, it creates a lot of trust. And we talked about this. I wanted to give up how many times, you know? A lot.
And it can
with
take
the
time.
ads. I wanted to give up in business before that. And then we started doing it, and I was like, the hell with this. I don't want to do ads anymore either. But we just stuck it out, and thank God I did.
No, it's crazy. So I'll tell a personal story kind of about that. This is off topic, but this is where I think most creators, or if you own a business, we're at the point you want to give up. I invested in just my social media page, and we're just talking pure content. I invested $30,000 in just content. my first year in business. And I struggled to generate equal to that in sales. Just my first year. I was learning, right? So I paid that amount of money to learn. And then I took over my social media basically by about month 14. I had learned everything. I was already doing content as an agency owner for other people. And I took over my own social media. So I didn't have the agency edit my videos. I basically took over my entire brand.
Got it.
Launched my own system in 90 days, went viral. I had 3 videos. 3 videos broke 1 million views.
Insane.
Also, we peaked and I hit a 65K month inside of that 90 days as an agency owner. And the only thing we sold, we just sold content at the moment. So that was a peak inside of 90 days of taking over. So going from struggling to do that, and I did that off a very low ad spend because I had spent so much time building a brand. Being on camera, very uncomfortable. Being able to speak coherently,
I know what that's
very easily is not natural to me whatsoever. And I was also in parallel learning ads. So once I pieced that together, took over my brand and understood on the back end what was happening, because I had the grace to be exposed to really large brands and a lot of marketing money and content money moving back and forth across my business. I learned what worked best, which was to bridge the influence space, which is how do you snag attention, and then how do I build trust for service businesses, because the online coaches figured that shit out, right? Which is really hard to sell a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 product when it's just digital info versus a service business that has a quantifiable thing. My AC's out. Like which HVAC company do I trust? Oh, it's Jason who does HVAC now. Let me call Jason because I know him from social media. How do we build that trust and apply it to the service-based businesses? Because their historical content was aged. What they did worked 6 years ago. They're like half a decade behind because they're swinging hammers. They're not
just a before and after picture.
Yeah, and some AI stuff now. It just doesn't work. You can't. It doesn't build trust. Doesn't grab attention. It's not connection points. So he has a system, and it's very basic. It's make content that you like, and we introduced testimonials, some case studies, some of his crew, and he doesn't post often as he should, but he doesn't post. It's because he's marketing, and I don't post really. I posted 4 times last month. We did 2.1 million views. Only a small percentage of that was marketing. Like we're barely even ramping our marketing back up. So when you get it right, it clicks. And the problem is with building out your brand is you can't build a brand like off the snap of your fingers, unfortunately, unless you just have millions laying around that you don't care about.
AI doesn't build brands.
AI doesn't build brands. It requires a person.
Unless you got millions and you just hire a bunch of people to figure it out for you. But yeah, so if you got millions, what do you got to build a brand for?
It could be expensive. So I come from the position of I spent that money too. So when I ask my clients to spend the money and say, hey, this we're going to get you the awareness, but you also in parallel have to build a brand. And we also need some of the other push per click platforms to ensure that we can keep enough revenue to help this, because when you hit the inflection point, as long as you don't stop, you will have the same thing like I did and the same thing like Jason. He went from 10 to now we doubled month over month. His revenue doubled.
Yeah.
So he has hit the inflection point where his business, where it's like, oh shit, bro, hold on.
We kept the basics going. We just kept doing it over time. And then the system learned what we needed to learn. And I think that's the key point here, guys, is we're not, trying to be cynical or make fun of people that buy followers, even though I am, but it's like it's going to learn that the wrong way. And Clinton taught our system, and it's there. We got the receipts. Like our Google is blowing up.
Yeah. He's ranking top search for the keywords. We won't disclose the keywords that we're searching.
We have a few of them. Clinton, I know. His girl doesn't know. My girl doesn't know. Jace doesn't know. His kids don't know. We only know.
Exactly. He's ranking top page 88% of the time on what he's doing. That might be Chinese to you, but let me tell you something. If you walked in the room as a single man and 88% of the women automatically knew your name when you walked in and that you were single, and they were all single, that wouldn't be a bad thing for that man, especially if the word on the street was very positive about who you are. So that ranking at that rate, top of page for search is absolutely the thing you want to do. If you could do anything, respond quick and rank top of page for a keyword that your competition are expending way more money for than you. And then you nailed it. And it's simply because we took the time to educate the system. We were patient and we didn't rush the process. If we would have last month doubled his marketing budget, we might have broken the system. And we might not have gotten double the revenue. And that's the unfortunate part about marketing, which doesn't make sense to regular people.
That's so wild to me that, because you know me, I'm just like, throw money at it, Clinton. He's like,
it doesn't work
we're
like
going to
that.
break it, Jason.
Yeah, if it works, don't fuck with it.
Right.
You have to increase something that's working on every platform that's working systematically and in small increments, or you'll force the system to reestablish its estimates on some way larger value. So when you double it, it has to force a relearn. We operate our incremental increases in so small places. We just go more places and it doesn't relearn.
Force a relearn. I mean, that literally tells you that the system is learning, and
you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that.
You don't want to do. You don't want to do that. Once if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And things can go off the rails, and you have to pay attention. So he's done everything right, patient with his business, and we'll have incremental increases. And you know, my hope, it would shock me personally if he went from 200 to 400, but it also wouldn't surprise me because we're very systematic. Our goal is only 20% more than last month because we want to double at a rate that we can scale our labor as well.
Yeah.
And not break our labor and fulfillment because he does have a good name. He does have a great product.
We don't want to scale too fast. We want to be able to respond faster than everybody, give them the price that we want, and fulfill.
Yep. So if he's excelling under the condition of prosperity and no storms, imagine what happens the moment we add in the digital space into his disaster skill set, which he's had all along. Is he's very primed for, he's primed for purchasing a Pagani. He's primed to purchase a Bugatti, and he could write the check is because we're doing this when we're not supposed to. We're doing it when it's hard, when the economy's down. He's doing this. He's excelling under the condition you're supposed to retract from spending. And our conversations are, don't take your foot off the gas. We're taking market shares. And you can't see that today. He can't predict that he's taking X number of market shares because those numbers don't exist anywhere. You just have to know that this is what's happening and our competitors are restricting. So every month, our numbers go up, our ad spend goes up, their ad spend goes up, but their market shares go down. Is because we're getting a lot of things on the back end, right? And we're doing it just because we've done everything organically, appropriately to build. Now, at some point, we will pass the helm. Their costs will start to shoot up. Our costs will start to shoot down. Profits widen, and then we have a disaster.
Yes.
Then we have a disaster, and it's like, it's his peak sales are 55K day. He's had, I think, some pretty crazy days. He's going to have sustained, double-digit six figures, 100K days.
In a 5-day span, the best 5-day week we had was 16,000, 30,000, and 55,000. And that was like by Friday, like 1:30.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
that's it. You have the system. So
we have the system.
For the business things that we solved as we come to the end, we solved response time.
That's huge.
Huge for us is response time. So now he gets on the schedule to get an in-person quote.
I'm sleeping. Clinton's watching his phone like this, waiting for it to go off. I dare the CM to go off.
I send it right to
because he's in Cali, right?
I send it right to the CEO right here, the Prezi. I say,
hey, you better
lead,
call these guys.
Another lead comes through. He's like, I'm on it. And he'll call him and be 10 o'clock in Florida. Like, that's what it takes because he's not dropped. Our goal is to not drop one lead.
Ever. Our goal is to respond in by 2027 by under 30 seconds.
He's mastered outbound reach in under 30 digitally, and then he'll have a human follow up inside of 60. So his goal is ultimately 30. That's a he has a 7-figure business by solving that today. He has a multi 7-figure business easily, and he solved it in a year. And then as he expands the markets, as long as that rate holds, nothing changes. It actually gets a lot better.
That's what separates us. There's a lot of things, our branding, this, that, the third, but that really separates us in a customer right in the beginning of how we operate with them on the phone.
Mm-hmm. It sets the standard.
It sets the standard right away, and it's such a big deal. And it's just from the years and years that I've been doing this over and over. And owner operator and other companies, they might get 300 phone calls in 30 days.
Sure.
I get 15. So I've got to sell 9 of those, right? To make any ends meet, because one job could be 200, one could be 2,500, one could be 400. So when I was owner operator, so it was really important to nail down how we talk to the customers and how on the phone and things like that. So these are all the systems that I didn't know why I was having to go through what I went through, but I'm sure glad I did.
I'd like to say is in the digital space, it's very common for business owners to miss what they do in this real world, like person to person. They don't understand they're not doing the same thing in digital space. What I mean by that is simple. If a stranger came up to you, said, hey, I need help, and you said, uh-huh, and then you went quiet for hours, maybe even days, that's how your consumer feels. You would never do that in person. If Jason came up to a stranger and was like, hey, I'm interested in getting some marketing done. And I said, I hear you. Thank you. And just no response for 3-4 hours, and we're just standing there. Jason would think there was something psychologically wrong with my mind, right? Like, is this guy special? Like, he shell shocked from war? Like, what's going on with Clinton right now? I thought he was normal, but he's clearly ignoring me. I don't feel validated. I don't feel important, like my problem's important. He'd go on to someone else, no matter the quality of job is. 90% of businesses treat their inbound leads this way, which lets you know the massive amount of opportunity that exists for your business, no matter where it's at. If you can solve response time alone, just pick up the phone and call that lead back as fast as you can. And you can't do that when you're underneath a house, turning wrenches, on a roof, laying, soldering pipes as a plumber. Mm-hmm. You can't hit your earpiece while you're sweating a pipe. Mm-hmm. And those seconds matter. Those first few seconds, first impressions are everything kind of thing. Those first few seconds as a business owner matter just as much as your first few seconds in your conversations with the wife that you're currently with, or your fiance, or the relationship you're in. If you treated your leads like you treated the conversation with your wife or your wife-to-be,
it's such a delicate process. It's so delicate.
You'd set a completely different tone. So businesses just have benign neglect systemically on how they treat their inbound leads. Not all.
Especially service-based construction. It's so, you can never get a hold of anybody, blah, 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 blah.
Solve that. Just solve that problem and then pick up the phone and call them. And then make them say no. That's it. I saw this thing from Grant Cardone, and I don't know whether you like Grant. It doesn't really matter, but this thing really resonated to me. And Grant was almost in tears. It almost looked like he was really touched by the responses, how much he believed in it. And I now adopted this is, he said, 80% of my business. Oh, wait, it goes like this. I don't want to feel pushy with my clientele and pushing my service. He said, I believe in my service. I'm pushy because 80% of my clients said no the first time. 80% of all his revenue was based on a follow-up. He has a very aggressive follow-up, email, text, telephone call. He's calling multiple times in multiple days to get them to say no a bunch of different ways because the client may not fully understand how great your service is and what you could do for them. And I do. So Jason does. So now Jason is going to make them say no is because he shows up faster than everybody else. He responds faster. He's out in days. He's a one-stop shop, an expert in the thing. They load up the truck. It's already prefabbed. It's assembled in days, and you have a shitty space to a beautiful space. And he's out of your hair, and he has great reviews. His clients love him. His demographic is older than me, and these people love everything that he's working with. Gold chains, bright cars. They love how he does it is because he does it right.
And let's talk about that. So we did this on my story. It's on the page on the reel. We just did it a couple days ago, but I'm gonna say the story again. We were in the Verizon, and this is what I want to say is, my job is to be a salesman, which it's not. My job is to be the owner and sit back and write checks on Friday and look at the banking account go up and down. If I was a salesman, I wouldn't be wearing this. I wouldn't jump out of the truck and be flashing like that. Obviously, you guys wouldn't want me to sell because I'd outsell 99% of you. What happens is when I'm out and I'm in my RH shirt and I have my chain on, because people are like, they just can't believe it. And we have people that are in a demographic, like an older guy with his shirt tucked in with, like, you know, the New Balances and stuff, like just somebody that you would never think. He comes up to me, man, I love your truck. Look at your shirt, blah, blah, blah. We're talking in the Verizon the other day. I give him a card. Dan calls him within 30, you know, because I get the guy's information. I push it to my guys. My guys stop what they're doing and call him. And it's just be yourself, guys, you know. And it's like Clinton says, people, they love to hate and talk smack about it, but I'm not going to get too loud. I'm going to let Clinton, I'm just going to listen to my brother, and I'm going to sit back here. And,
dude, look, he did it, man. He did it. He looks the way he looks. He's himself. I say don't not be yourself.
To be talking. I was doing it in the beginning, but I really don't need to be. Our results are going to speak for themselves. So
he did all the hard work, and it's like I said, his clients, I've seen the testimonials. Their demographic is older than me, and they love him. And you know, I can relate here. I'm covered in tattoos. I don't look like a nice guy. And a little old lady from Germany, an immigrant American that moved here, she had the conversation with me at the hotel for hours, right, with her husband, and they loved me. The people that jive with you and what you're doing love you, especially if you're doing it right. Now, we prejudge all the time, and that's okay. You're going to get some hate on social media. But just let your actions speak louder than, you know, the imagery that they have in your head about you and opinions. That's it. And no one's perfect. Jason's not perfect. I'm definitely flawed. I will tell 100%. Someone to fuck themselves, fuck you, and fuck all that. I do that from time to time, and I shouldn't, but that's who I am. And you know, I try to be respectful all the time, but when I feel like the line is stepped, I stick up for myself because that's the world we live in. We're human. So just be yourself, guys. Be yourself. Jason, close them out. How do they get in contact with you? And, you know, we'll leave all that information down there, but let them know. How do they reach out to you for their needs?
All right, guys, right here at the bottom, RHScreenPlusRoofing. That's on all major platforms. And then that's the same as the www.com. So it's www.rhscreenplusroofing.com, where you can hit us up, 772-801-4083, guys. We would love to talk to you. Come out and check your property out.
And the beautiful thing is, if that's a custom screen enclosure in Southern Florida area, Port St. Lucie region, and any type of roofing issues, and also he's expanding other things, fencing and
railing, concrete,
flipping your house, it doesn't matter. So if you're interested in any one of those things, and it's outside your scope, Jason's a nice guy. You can get in contact with him directly through his contact sheet on his website. Or social media.
Selling their house, they want a cash buyer to come in, no contingencies. We come in, I bring my team in, we look at it, and you don't need to sit there and wait for the inspections or anything, we'll come and inspect it. So we're doing that as well, guys.
Get it done.
Get it done.
Like always, guys, it was great bringing Jason here. Dropped 100 pounds, 20x'd his top line revenue in a 12-month period, and 400% increased the size of his fleet. 4x'd basically for simpleton math like me. Massive life experiences. A new gym owner, nonprofit, flipped multiple houses now. Fuck. It's a lot.
We're doing it,
There
guys.
are some superheroes in the world. So if you ever get stuck in life and interested on how to get out of your zone and you jive with what Jason says, send him that message, man.
Contact us, guys.
And especially if you're in the Florida area. So you're not going to get anywhere if you just keep watching the world drive by.
That's it. You want to do some networking content and you got questions, give us a call, guys. I'm here for the people.
Till next time, guys, we got a dip. We'll talk to you soon. And like always, watch to learn how to do this, and obviously like, comment, and share. Appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel. Till next time, guys, peace, and we'll talk to you soon.